Alright, here we are. This is my FreeNAS 11.3 U1 version. We're going to replace one of the pools. So let's go storage. Pools. I've got 3 pools here. I've got RAID A, RAID C, and RAID D. RAID C is made up of, does it say? Yeah, there it is. RAID C is made up of this 4 terabyte drive here, and the other one is here. One of these two is actually, yeah, it's a 6 terabyte disk, but I'm only using 4 terabytes of it. Anyways, I just picked up 10 more 4 terabyte drives, and I want to have these in that pool. And I will probably retire all of these 2 terabyte drives that are in RAID A. So what I first need to do is get stuff off RAID C so I can delete it. Then I'm going to try and add 10 more drives to the system without overwhelming the power supply. And if that works, we're going to move stuff off RAID A onto RAID C. It'll be RAID B, because I used to have a B and I moved disks around last time. So the new one will be RAID B. So what we want to do is go snapshots. No, we want to go pools. We're actually going to make snapshots. So RAID C, we're going to snapshot this. Create snapshot, and I'm going to call it moving downloads. I'll make it recursive, sure. Well, there's nothing under it, so I don't think it needs to be recursive. We'll just create snapshot. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for small. I call this data set small because my old external, an old NAS I had set up, I had a 1 terabyte USB drive plugged into it, and I called that the small drive. Create snapshot. Okay, so now we go to snapshots. We have those 2 snapshots, moving downloads and moving small. So let's move small first, because that's going to be easiest. And it seemed like there's an option to do it in the GUI now. Clone to new data set. Let's try that out. So we're just going to do RAID A, no, RAID D / small. Must be within the same volume. Well, there's a problem. Okay, so if I want to send it to a different volume, I've got to use command line. Alright, here we go again. I'm going to go, we're going to do a shell actually. Oh, you know what? I don't want this shell. Go back to storage so I can see everything. Now, I want Debian. Okay, we'll put this down here. Groovy. Now, we are going to change. We're going to send everything to RAID D. I got this, I copy pasted it. Let's try, there we go. Now we're going to go back here, and it's going to be RAID, oops, damn it. Paste it again. Okay, now I can see it. CFS send -RB RAID C at moving _ small. CFS CD -F and then RAID D / small. I think that'll work. I've now moved small and downloads, and I can go and see the command that I finally had to come up with. So for one, I wasn't as root, so that was most of my problem. So I had to switch to root, as you can see right here, and then a ZFS send, much like I'd seen tutorials online. It's on the RAID C pool, and this is a data set, this is a snapshot, and we're going to receive it to this pool, and that's going to create that data set. And that's what it did. 1.21 terabytes. I did it with small as well. It took many hours. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, I can't even go all the way back, but that's, yeah. I don't know. It was maybe an hour actually. Not too bad. Or 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, I went to bed and let it go overnight. And so now I've got downloads on D and small on D. So I'm going to go here and I'm gonna try and delete this whole pool. Nope. Okay, let's go here. Delete data set. Wants me to be very sure. I have to type it and click confirm. And same with this data set. Delete data set. Oops. I think I hit the wrong button. Here, let's try this again. Let's confirm. There we go. Okay, RAID C is empty now. Put it out now. As you can see, it's gone. Of course, it did it while I wasn't recording. So you click here, export disconnect, and it tells you about the shares they're using it and stuff, and then you tell it to destroy the data and then confirm it. So we're not going to do that to this data set because that would be catastrophic. But so that's how that worked. Now I can add the new drives and I'll create a pool with all 12 of those disks, hopefully. Alright, time to upgrade this thing again. One of these sides is getting really hard to open lately. Not this side. Oh, maybe it is this side. Yeah. There we go. So I'll take that side off. Alright, there's one side. And let's do the other side. I should probably tell this thing to shut down. Oh, actually, I want to go and get the serial number of the drive that's failing, so I can set that one aside when I get it out. There we go. Let me hop in there and log into it real quick. Alright, I got the serial number for the problematic Hitachi. Obviously, this is one of the 2 terabyte drives, so they're all getting retired out of this machine after I migrate the data. The 2 terabyte drives, I bought them used. I think I bought 6 of them used, and I already had 2, so it gave me 8. They're all running off that one RAID controller. This drive is not actually bad. I just get 4 currently unreadable pending sectors errors scrolling across the console all the time, and sometimes I get an alert when I log into FreeNAS saying, hey, you got a drive that's going. So it'll be nice to get that one, retired. And the other 7 2 terabyte drives I'm going to find other purposes for. Oh, and I did check the number of power on hours. It was at 57,000 hours, which after doing the math, that's 6.5 years of on time. So about half that life was for me, and the other half I got it used. So anyways, we are going to tell this thing to shut down here soon. Alright. Let's go ahead and initiate shutdown. Confirm shutdown, yes. Now, here's the new SAS controller. It's a Dell H200 that has been reflashed to LSI IT mode. Came with a listing of all the serial numbers. I bought 10 of them. They It was quite the investment, but in the same terms, I bought 40 terabytes for $450 shipped. It was actually $40 a drive, but $50 in shipping. And they did a good job of shipping it. So I figure $45 a drive, 45, yeah. So I spent $450. Now, these are all SAS drives. That's one of the things that helped keep the price down. So 8 of these are going to go on that controller. Oh yeah, that controller here. I got the proper cables that bring this SAS adapter into SAS drives. Oh, check this out. Sun. So, Sun created the file system that I run on FreeNAS, ZFS. So that's kind of a circle of life thing. These are the cables that I got for the drives. As you can see, they plug into the SAS connector on the drive. They give me a normal spot to give it power, and it takes the data back to the card. And for the 2 that are going to plug into the hard drive, see, I've got 2 ports free on the motherboard still. This just adapts it to normal SATA. So 2 of these will be plugged right into the motherboard. And I've also got another, got a Western Digital 4 terabyte RAID in here, and I've got a Western Digital 6 terabyte RAID in here. Those are going to join these 10 drives and make 12. It's going to be a RAID Z2, so I'll have pretty close to 40 terabytes available. It's going to be epic. Hopefully all these drives work.
That would be a bad time to figure out now.
Well, yeah, it would be annoying because I'd have to not build my array until they can send me replacements. And with the plague going around, it might be a while before they can do that.
Yeah, China has two months of no school.
Alright, so these are just going to get set up in here for the time being because I've got to dump the data from the 2 terabyte array, or 2 terabyte drives array, onto the new array that I'm building. And while this has a 1200 watt power supply, it's pretty epic. I think I'm out of ports on it. I don't know, I might be able to... Here, Patrick. You could go through these.
That looks like all of them.
So I've got 3 drives out so far.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay. So that is 3, 6, 8. I can get 8 more drives, not 10.
You could probably nick them off of them.
If I can do an adapter from these older ones to this, if that's what I have to do. That's a floppy connector.
Oops. But just taking them off of that.
That kind of power supply. See, these connectors say AX1200 only. Oddly enough, this, even though it's Corsair and my other power supplies are Corsair, the AX uses a different plug. So let's open this up. I'm about to bury those 2 SATA ports on the motherboard behind all these drives, so we'll put this in first. Okay, I've got another PCI Express adapter right here, so I can put the new card in this port. It's by 8 or maybe by 4, I don't remember which, but yeah, it's wider than by 1. Alright, where did I? Oh, there it is. It's empty! Okay, there's one. So I've got, how many drives in this machine already? I've got 6 down here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I had 14 in here already, which was what I thought I remembered. And I'm going to be, I think that's all of them. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Anyways, so 14 drives. I'm going to add 10 more. That'll be 24 drives off of a 1200 watt power supply. As long as I use 50 watts each or less on boot up, it'll post. It'll power up without the power supply going, Mommy!
Save me.
What the hell are you doing to me? Somewhere around here I've got all my adapters to take these, the older power connectors to the newer ones.
The adapters
I'm gonna
to these.
Yeah. making it all set up first.
Oh wow, so they're just going to sit on top of each other.
Yeah, this is not good for the drives because the vibrations will vibrate the whole stack. But I'm only going to be doing this for a few hours while I move the data. So they should survive this just fine. There's also a limit on how many drives you can have in a single system based on what quality of drive you get. If you get the professional ones, they can have a limit of 24 drives in a system, which is where we're at. And then they've got other ones that can do like 60 in a single system. It's all a matter of how much vibration they can handle. Okay. Let's see how long these are and compare them to my spare cables that I have over there. Oh, you know what? That's why I can't use those.
Why?
Because these are for normal. Okay, so
Those
I
are
had
for-
these already.
For normal ones?
Yeah, these are for normal SATA drives. And I needed it for SAS drives. I was wondering why I didn't use the cables I already had laying around. That'd be why. They won't work with these.
Yeah, it would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, these are SAS adapters built in. I just had to buy more of these little adapters to use those, and it's actually cheaper to just get, and more reliable probably, to get the single cable. You don't have it going through multiple connections.
Yeah, the more connections, the more fair.
Yeah, points of failure. Plug in this last drive. And then we need 4 more.
Okay, we have 4 more.
Yep. Ooh-wee. Whoops, backwards.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start another pile over there. Actually, yeah, let's start the other pile over there so that cables will reach.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Port A or B. Let's try B for those. There we go. A for these. Come on. There we go. There we go. They're plugged in. Yeah, and then we got to do power on all of these. All right. Well, there's another problem. There are 6 spots for SATA power, or yeah, peripheral power, and we've got 4 used already. We need 3 more. Yeah, and these aren't going to plug into any of the other adapter spots. Well, crap.
Couldn't you do 2, then do the other one first?
I gotta figure out how I'm going to plug in 2 more SATA, or yeah, 1 more SATA power one. I couldn't even use those other drive adapters because there's just not enough places to plug them in. Yeah. Maybe worst case, I could just start splicing some of these wires together. I insist. Draw the power. I don't even know if it'll post, so it's gonna see all those drives and go, oh my god, too many. Make it stop, it burns. Oh, some of these are oh, you know, I've got some of the older connectors back there going to fans and crap. Here's my adapter for the upper fans. You can see I'm running them at 5 volts and they're still ridiculously loud. They're the loudest thing in the computer. Here's another fan connector, I think. Let's see what that goes to actually. Oh, those are SATA power adapters right there for those 2 drives. That's not good. So this is what we had with some adapters.
Oh wow.
But I've got 2 unused SATA ports. I don't think I'm going to have hardly any fans running while I do this too, because I think this is power into the fans.
I think this.
We'll see. If the fan controller up here doesn't work, all my fan controllers, then I know this needs to get power. Now let's turn it back around. Man, I gotta get this thing on the scale before we're done, just so I can see how much it weighs with 24 hard drives in it. It's not light.
Oh, I'm not doubting it.
Yeah, it's heavier than it was before.
It wasn't light when I
It was a two-man lift before. Now it's heavier. Okay, these are my USB boot drives. There we go. All the drives are plugged in now. Will this power supply power up 24 hard drives?
Well, we got codes at the bottom.
Wow, it did it. They all spun up rather slowly, but that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got no fans now. No fan controller's got no power. But that's fine by me. Okay. Wow, we got to the boot screen pretty quick. Alright, it's not seeing all the drives. Maybe they didn't all power up in time for it to detect it. So we're gonna do a reboot. Firm reboot, yes. I'm gonna do a full-on, where's the reset button? Once this gets all the way down, I'm gonna manually reset. Okay, there's a hard reset. Let's see what we see on the screen. It's missing several drives. There's the old controller. And that was the BIOS, and now we're booting. Let's hope it sees all the drives this time. If this doesn't work, I will disconnect all of the 3 terabyte drives from the motherboard because I think there's just too many. The best guess is there's just too many for it to boot them all. That, or I forgot to plug in one of the power connectors.
That would be too.
Yeah, because I don't have any spare spots left. So if one of those is still unplugged, that would totally explain why I'm missing some of my drives. But I think all the ones that are, all my 4 terabytes are plugged in. Although if the adapter that I got that plugs 2 of them into the motherboard, if that's not working, I don't know. Could go into the BIOS and make sure that's all set fine. Okay, now we're going to go into BIOS. Failing this, I guess I need to make sure everything's getting power. 2 of my drives. Well, the good news is all the ones on the SAS controller are working. It's the 2 on the motherboard that aren't showing up.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know the SAS controller is working.
Yeah, and it's only those 2 new ports on the motherboard that aren't working. All right. We still don't have RAID D apparently. Let's go back to pools. We have RAID A. Disks. I got the 3 terabytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 2 more 4 terabyte drives before I can. So ADAs, these are, I think the ADA ones are on the motherboard controller, and the DA ones are on the SAS controllers. So I've got DA 0 through 7 is 8 of them. 8 through, should be 15, should be, oh yeah, and then these 2 are the USB drives. Okay, so ADA, I'm only seeing ADA 0 through 3. I'm going to go in the BIOS on that computer and see if I've got something set wrong and go from there. back we go.
Did you
Yeah. Storage. SATA controllers enabled. And storage accelerator. Okay, so there's two of the Hitachis. There's the Western Digital 6 terabyte. These are my two 3 terabytes. I'm not seeing the other two. Really. There's a Western Digital 4 terabyte. Okay, so those are my two old ones. So there should be 2 more 3 terabytes being detected that aren't. Okay, let's see if I can get that stupid onboard controller to work. Let's see all the drives. Western Digital 4 terabyte. That's all it's off. It's telling me that RAID D is offline, so that's a bad sign. RAID A is available. Let's go look at storage disks. So, disk size. There's 4 terabyte, 3 terabyte, 3 terabyte. There's a 6, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. These are all my 2 terabytes. They're RAID A, so that's good. At least I've got the new drives in RAID A. All of RAID D has vanished. I don't quite understand why that happened, but we can get them back after I get RAID A out of the way. I can live without RAID D while I do the migration. RAID D is all off the motherboard's hard drive controller though, so I don't understand why they would be missing.
That's too late.
Yeah, but let's see. We're gonna count the unused ones. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And these 2 unused are actually the 3 terabyte. So that's part of RAID D. That's odd. Alright, it did turn out I had this one not plugged in, which explains why the 3 terabytes were missing. But it doesn't explain why 2 of my 4 terabytes are not showing up.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I've got to get real hacky because I really want to get all these powered up at the same time. So I'm inclined to just splice these. Alright, so soldering is done. I'm going to let this soldering iron cool for a minute before I put the cap back on. Put my solder away. I've had this same roll of solder for so many years. Should probably get a new roll someday. I don't know, I'm not out yet. Anyways, let's tape these and then we can plug it in and try again. Ta-da! Ta-da! There we go. More power. Don't need that one anymore. This is a big problem with these. They look good when they're all black, but they're not color-coded, so you don't know which one's which. You just have to do them in order. Alright. Now, why aren't the 2 that are going into the motherboard working? Alright, do we see if it'll boot? Might as well, it's going to take a while to post. Okay, now we're actually doing all 24 drives at once. Let's hit this. There they go. Oh my goodness. I hit reset once. can see, RAID D is back. The 4 drives for RAID D. If we go to pools, yeah, we've got RAID A and RAID D. So, disks. RAID D is 4 3 terabyte drives. 2.73 it says. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The reason, what? No, that's right. I'm still missing the 2 new new drives. So what I learned was I get the 8 SAS drives on the controller. The 2 that I tried to put on, which would be showing up on ADA, turns out you can put SATA drives on a SAS controller, but you can't put SAS drives on a SATA controller. So I ran around town trying to find somebody with a spare controller to sell. I ended up buying a whole server which had a H200i card in it, and you cannot flash that to IT mode. So I'm just going to have to, set them up in RAID 0 on this card and hope that it does the job. Since I'm going to do RAID Z2, there'll be 2 spare drives, so when I get the right controller, which I also ordered online, it'll be here later this week, I'll be able to swap that card out, swap this card out, move those 2 drives over to the new card. FreeNAS probably won't recognize them anymore because it won't be going through a RAID card anymore. So it'll have to re-image them. But since there's 2 spares, I shouldn't lose any data. It should just re-silver. Who knows how long that'll take. But anyways, so that's what we're going to do now. Let's go outside and stick this card in and see if it works. And we should be able to escape. Yes, I want to save it. Oops. Escape. Yes, I want to save it. Control delete. Alright, we should have all the drives working now, more or less. I got 2 of them in RAID 0 on that stupid card, but whatever. There they are. 2 unused. Okay, so now we've got 12 unused drives that are at least 4 terabytes. So these are 3.64. So is that old Western Digital Red. I've got the 5.46, which is the 6 terabyte Western Digital Red, but it's going to be only using 3.64 itself. So, pools. We want to add a pool. Create new pool. And then it's listing all my spare drives over here. So I got, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 11 and 12. There we go. Well, that's cool if you wanted to filter them by capacity. If you were really setting up a new system and it had all sorts of drives in it, that's pretty neat. Or if you were doing all one brand or something on your array. All selected. Name. We're going to name this one RAID B because that's available. Mixing disks of dirt is not allowed. RAID Z3. I want RAID Z2. Is it complaining about one of my disks? Okay, so what? You're not going to let me mix this one? create button is grayed out. Add data. What is going on here? Oops. Okay, uncheck all of these. Uncheck that one. Put it back. Oh, no. Put it back. Okay. Now I'm gonna select all of these except that one. I'll put them over here. They're all 3.64 terabytes. I don't understand. I want RAID Z2 anyways. These instructions are on the ZFS home, you know, Oracle who bought Sun. So to create a RAID Z pool, it's just these commands, and I'm going to do a RAID Z2. So I'm copying their commands. Z pool create RAID B is a RAID Z2 type, and then I just have to type in all the names of the disks, which are over here. So I have them in a screenshot. DA3, DA4, DA5, DA6, DA7, MF, ID0, MF, ID1. Alright, see, I couldn't do it because it's just refusing to in the UI, but I think I can just do it in the command line the old-fashioned way. Invalid VDEV specification. Oh, use -F to override the following. Okay. Where do I put it -F here? Nope. Where does -F come? Pool device. Okay. So I'm gonna put -F after create. And okay, I think we just did it. Storage, pools, RAID A, RAID D. Nope. Disks, unused. Pools. Add. Import an existing pool. Next. No, it's not encrypted. Next. Pool. Not seeing any. Okay. Let's go back to the shell and see if we created it. Z pool list. RAID A, RAID B, and RAID D. Nice. 43 terabytes. Okay, so let's just we'll just tell this thing to reboot. Alright, you'll have to excuse the background noise if you can hear it at all. So here we go. We are up. RAID A, RAID D. I do not see RAID B. Shoot. Okay. Storage. Pools. A and D. Add. Import an existing pool. Pool. It's not giving me the freaking option. Yo! What on earth? Discs. And it's still saying they're unused. They're not unused. I created RAID B out of them. Oh, the software pisses me off sometimes. Zpool list. Zpool import RAID B. All right. RAID A is on /mount. RAID D is on /mount. RAID B is not. Nope, that's not it. User. Okay, I've got to figure out how to brute force this stupid thing. Storage. Import disk. Okay, let's try that. Shell. Zpool status RAID B. All good. What can I do with ZFS? ZFS mount. RAID B already mounted. Where would it be mounted? Unmount. Storage. Pools. Add. Import an existing pool. Pool. God grief. What is the problem here? This all hurts. Okay, so discs. Saying they're unused. Let's go down to shell. Pool status. There it is. I think we're still recording. Still recording? Yeah, okay. Now we've created it. We told it to mount it in the correct spot for FreeNAS. ZFS create RAID B/testing. All right. Okay. Now let's see if we can go to storage and see these drives. Pools, A and D. Add. Next. So you're just never going to let me have that in the GUI. What in the hell? Okay, I'm gonna have to ask for some support again because this thing is still being a real pain. Alright, I'm gonna try and make this quick, but I got it to work. So there's RAID B now. What I had to do was I had to go to the shell, and the last command I ran was export. So after I'd created it, I had to export it. Then I could go to storage, pools, add, and I could import an existing pool. And it was suddenly under this list because I had exported it. So that's why it wasn't working. It hadn't been exported. Once it was exported, then I could import it into the GUI. That is so goofy, but whatever. It's up and running now. Now I need to move all of my data sets. I believe RAID A was all my 2 terabyte drives. RAID A, yeah, RAID A. So everything on RAID A needs to go to RAID B, and then I can delete RAID A and take it out of the machine. I have done a send, this command, ZFS send-RV RAID A/IOCage, and then the snapshot is IOCage snap, and I received it into RAID B IOCage. So if we go disks, and then we go back to pools, there, RAID B and IOCage. So now I need to go to my jails, and I need to stop all of these, and I need to stop, and I need to move that one, or stop that one, stop. I don't have a whole lot of jails right now. And then choose a pool. We're going to do RAID B. Choose. Okay. Now we should be able to start these again. Everything has been moved over. 3.8 gigs of TV shows, music, pictures, and videos are all moved. Videos are all my YouTube videos. So now I can remove RAID A. VM was some experimenting I did trying to get a virtual machine running on this thing, but I decided it's too complicated. So we're going to click Export Disconnect to disconnect all my old drives. Delete configuration shares, confirm. There we go. We don't need to destroy the data on this pool because I still want to have it sitting around for a couple of days. Alright, successfully exported and disconnected RAID A. So we can go ahead and close that, and it is gone. We are RAID B and RAID D. Now I'm going to go rearrange the drives in the server so that we can close the thing back up, and then I'll start moving some of this off RAID D, put it on B. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to shut down. Alrighty. Alright, so it's been about a month since the part you were just watching, and I've got everything done. I've got the right RAID controller in there. I don't know if I covered it in the video. I don't think I did while I was editing it. I noticed I forgot to mention it. Turns out you cannot run a SAS drive off a SATA controller. You can run SATA drives off of a SAS controller, but you cannot do it the other way around. So that's why those two drives weren't showing up on my hard drive controller on the motherboard. Even though I had the adapter to make them SATA, the hard drive controller couldn't interface with them. So I went and bought a crappy H700 Dell H700 RAID controller, which is, you can't make it an IT mode controller. So I used that for a couple of days. I set them up as two RAID zeros, as you saw in the video, and that got me working, but every time I did a scrub I'd get errors, and I think it eventually kicked those two drives out of the pool. Luckily it was RAID Z2, so I could afford that barely. Quickly ordered a new H200. I think the first one I got was bad, which was really annoying when I'm living with no spares. But I had all the data still on the other pools, so it wasn't too big a deal. And then I got an H310, I think it was. It's a fancier version of an H210. I think it's just got more flash. But so I got that one working, and now all of the drives, let's go to under disks. All of the drives are showing up. So they're all here now. These DA10 and DA11 are my boot drives. They're actually on USB, but they're on SATA to USB adapters because they're actually SATA drives. They're a lot more reliable that way. And so RAID B here is my new RAID. And I've got 12 disks in that pool. Yeah, and I got one more up here. So I did mention in the video that I had a pair of Western Digital Reds, which have turned out to be not good drives for NASs. Mine are so old, I have no doubt that they're the ones before they started doing the SMR trickery. So I should be fine. They've always worked fine for me, never given me any errors. So yeah, so let's go pools. You can see I've got RAID B has got 7.51 used, 24 available. I moved everything off of RAID D except for my downloads and my small. So that one's now using 1.4 and it's got 6.25 available. It's suddenly become my very small pool. And we go back to the dashboard. So yeah, I think there's an update. Yeah, there's an update available I need to install right now, but I always tend to wait. So there's RAID B online, RAID D. You know, when I was getting all those errors on the new RAID B with that crappy SAS controller, if you go to shell and you type let's see all the commands I sent recently. Status. I was doing a lot of that. Scrubbing. I did a lot of scrubbing to make sure it was okay. Oh, that's as far back as it goes. I think I did something like zpool clear RAID B, and that removed all the errors. So it put I got the two drives back online. I got rid of all the errors, and then I redid the scrub. After moving it to the new controller, amazingly enough, I didn't have to resilver. It saw the drives. So that RAID 0 that controller had done was pretty much bare metal, but it wasn't giving ZFS access to the bare metal. Anyways, the new controller saw them. I didn't have to resilver. I think I had just a tiny little bit of resilver. It took seconds. And so it's all up and running. I got The computer is down to 16 drives, so I do not have 24 drives in that computer anymore. I was able to get the fans up and running again. So yeah, my hacked together power cable is back out of that case, because with 16 drives I didn't need it. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Like I said, this was only a $450 upgrade, and now I've got a lot more space. I think this was the most cost-effective way of doing it. I mean, storage, pools. Yeah, it was used as 7, so there's 31 terabytes total. A pair of 16 terabyte drives would have cost more than $450. So, and then I'd had no redundancy. So that's kind of what I was saying. I could have bought 3 of those and spent way more money and had the same amount of space, a little bit more energy efficient. But I really like to be thrifty, so I was definitely thrifty here. My jails are all working. Everything's great. Anyways, I know this has been an incredibly long video. Thanks for watching, and if you stayed this long, you're quite the trooper. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll try and do some more stuff like this in the future.